Hi, I'm Julie, and welcome to Leadership Clearly podcast. I've been leading teams, building brands, and navigating complex leadership environments for over 20 years. And here's what I know to be true. Leadership gets heavy when clarity is missing. This podcast exists to help leaders slow down, think clearly, and lead well through real-world challenges. Each episode is designed to encourage you, challenge you, and remind you that strong leadership is built through consistency, courage, and care. If you're leading people and carrying responsibility, this podcast is for you. There's a difference between being in charge and being respected. The leaders people talk well about, not because they're flashy, but because they're steady, clear, and wise. Those are the leaders that are intentional about how they communicate. They study themselves. They study their people. If you want to be that kind of leader, the kind who builds strong teams and leaves lasting impact, the Clarity Code was built just for you. It's where we slow down, get honest about how you sound, how you lead, and how to align your communication with the impact you say you want to make. If you're ready for that level of growth, the Clarity Code is your next step. Information is found in the show notes. Hey friends, welcome back to Leadership Clearly. Today, we are talking about something that almost every leader has asked someone at some point. Here's the question. How do I get people to listen to me? If you lead a team, run a company, manage employees, or even lead in your home or your church, you have probably felt this frustration. You explain something clearly, you repeat yourself, you think the direction is obvious, and yet somehow the message still does not land. People nod in the meeting, they will acknowledge you, they will say, "Yeah, Mom, I heard everything you said. I'll go ahead and do my chores." And then they walk out and do something completely different. So the natural question becomes, why is no one listening? But here's the truth that most leaders do not realize. You cannot make people listen. They have to choose to listen. And once you realize that, that one shift changes everything about how leadership communication works. Let's talk about some leadership myths, okay? Many leaders believe authority should create listening. If I am the boss, people should listen. If I am the parent, people should listen. If I am the leader, my words should carry weight automatically. But real leadership influence, man, it works differently. People listen when they feel safe. People listen when they feel respected. People listen when they feel heard. And if those conditions are not present, even the best message can fall flat right on his face. Scripture reflects this principle very clearly. James 1:19 says, "Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." Notice the order. Listen first, speak second. But many leaders, man, y'all reverse it. And trust me, I am so guilty of that. We speak first and then we wonder why people aren't listening. So let's talk about why people stop listening. I'm going to give you a simple principle that explains a lot about human behavior. When people's needs are not being met, they focus on their own survival first. I want you to think about someone who is drowning. They're panicking, they're flailing, arms going everywhere, they're gasping for air. They're not thinking about your needs. They're trying to survive. Now, most people in the workplace are not literally drowning, but emotionally, the same dynamic can exist. When people feel ignored, misunderstood, dismissed, or unheard, their focus turns inward. They become defensive. They'll stop listening. They'll start protecting themselves. And at that moment, communication, it breaks down. Not because people are being difficult, but it's because they don't feel understood. So let's talk about the hidden leadership need. Here is something very powerful that many leadership experts have observed. Reasonable people do not have as strong of a need to get their way as they do to feel heard and understood. I want to say that again. Reasonable people do not have as strong of a need to get their way as they do to feel heard and understood. People want to feel heard. This is deeply biblical as well. So let's talk about Proverbs 18:13. It says, to answer before listening, that is a folly and a shame. Many leaders try to solve problems before they have actually listened to the people that were involved. And when people don't feel heard, they stop listening in return. So until someone feels heard, they're going to struggle to hear you. That is one of the most common breakdowns in leadership communication. So where does this leadership shift happen? We got to figure something out here, okay? What does this mean for us as leaders who just want our people to listen to us? This is where we go. If we want people to listen to us, the first responsibility is not speaking better, it's listening better. And the fastest way to get someone to listen to you is to listen to them first. When someone feels understood, you'll feel that shift. Their defensiveness will lower, their walls will come down, trust increases. And now they're actually open to hearing your perspective. Listening, it's not weakness. Listening, it's leadership discipline. So let me share an example from my own leadership journey. And I know that I don't really talk too much about myself on this podcast, which I probably should let you guys know a little bit about who I am. So I lead in the technology space. I have a team. I've been doing technology sales leadership for, oh my goodness, off and on for 25 years now. Okay. In the technology space, we move very fast. Technology changes daily. So we're in sales. There are sales targets. There are pipeline expectations, weekly activity goals, and there's a lot of pressure to produce results very quickly. Anyone who has worked in tech sales or cloud services understands how intense that pace can be. There was a moment not too long ago where I noticed tension building with one of the people on my team. So performances started slipping a little, conversations were getting shorter, energy, it was off. My first instinct as a leader was to fix the problem quickly. I wanted to jump straight into those numbers, those activity levels, the strategy, what needed to change. But instead, I paused. I asked a simple question. Tell me what's been going on from your perspective. Then I did something leaders do not always do well. I listened. I mean, guys, I really listened. I didn't interrupt. I was on video with this person so they could see that I was actively listening to them. I was nodding, paying attention, not looking at my phone, not writing notes or anything like that. I was actually like locked in listening to this employee. What came out of that conversation had very little to do with the numbers themselves. There was frustration building. There was some confusion around expectations. A few things they had been carrying that they had never actually voiced with me. And the moment they felt heard, everything shifted. Their posture changed. The tension lowered. The conversation opened up. Only after that did we talk about strategy. Only after that did we talk about performance. And what was interesting to me is that once they felt understood, they were completely open to hearing my perspective as their leader. Our coaching conversations that followed afterwards, they were productive, they were clear, and they were collaborative. And their performance rebounded pretty quickly after that. That moment reinforced something I have seen again and again in leadership. People rarely resist clarity. They resist feeling unheard. Once someone feels heard and understood, they're far more willing to listen to you. So that moment coaching my team member, it just really reminded me of something that we see over and over again in scripture. Jesus rarely rushed to correct people before understanding them. In fact, one of the most fascinating tips you'll see in the Gospels is how often Jesus asked questions before giving answers. He liked that clarity. People came to him with confusion, accusation, needs, problems. And instead of immediately correcting them or giving instruction, he often asked questions first. He created that space for people to speak. He listened and he responded with truth. You'll see this in Mark chapter 10, if I'm correct. It is Mark 10, when Bartimaeus, who was blind, cried out for help. Jesus already knew that Bartimaeus was blind. Everyone around him knew it. But Jesus still asked him, "What do you want me to do for you?" He invited the man to be heard before responding. That is a powerful leadership model. Listening is not weakness. Listening is wisdom. Proverbs 18:2 says, "A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion." That verse hits leaders right between the eyes because leadership often puts us in positions where we feel pressure to have answers quickly. But the wisest leaders are not the fastest talkers. They tend to be the best listeners. And when leaders develop that discipline, I'm telling you, something powerful happens. You feel that shift. People trust them more. People open up more. And when the leader finally speaks, people actually want to hear what they have to say. Let me give you a simple, practical leadership practice that you can start using immediately. When someone shares a concern with you, slow down enough to reflect back what you heard. You might say something like, "So if I understand correctly, your concern is this." Or it might sound like the challenge you're facing is this. These two questions, they do powerful things. First, it shows that you're actually listening. Second, it gives them the opportunity to clarify if you misunderstood. Then you can ask permission before sharing your perspective. You might say, "Would it be okay if I share another perspective?" I mean, that's straight to the point. Or, "Can I walk you through how I'm seeing this?" I'll be honest, the latter, "Can I walk you through how I'm seeing this?" That one, I tell you, that one is the creme de la creme when I am working through technical issues with my technical sellers. What you are doing is inviting collaboration instead of forcing authority. And when people feel invited into the conversation instead of being controlled, they become far more open to listen. All right, so here is my final leadership moment for today. I know this was a short podcast, but I wanted to keep it short and sweet. If you want people to listen to you as a leader, I want you to start here, okay? Slow down, listen first, make people feel heard, then share your perspective. Because until someone feels understood, they will struggle to understand you. And when leaders learn to listen well, something powerful happens. People stop resisting, they start leaning in, trust grows, alignment increases, and guess what? Communication becomes clear. If today's episode resonated with you and you're realizing that leadership requires more clarity, more courage, and more consistency than you've been operating with, I want to invite you into something deeper. The Clarity Code is my new leadership bootcamp designed to help you slow down, get clear, and lead with confidence when conversations are hard, decisions are heavy, and people are counting on you. This isn't about fixing everyone else. It's about strengthening how you lead so your words, your presence, and your follow-through actually build trust. If you're ready to step into leadership with greater clarity and conviction, I'd love for you to join us inside the Clarity Code. Link is found in the show notes. And if Leadership Clearly has been encouraging or grounding for you, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. We release new episodes every Monday to help you start your week off with clarity, encouragement, and strong leadership perspective. And finally, if you know a leader who's navigating hard conversations or just carrying a lot right now, please share this episode with them. Leadership was never meant to be done alone. I'm glad you're here. Keep leading well. I'll see you next week.